All right, Don, this one's for you, the Stinky Pinky. Start off with your thread. This is some red thread on a extra long dry fly hook. This is a size 10. Take your thread all the way to just about the bend and go ahead and snip off the extra. We're going to take some foam, and I have two pieces of 3 mil foam glued together with super glue, as you can see here, and it's in a roughly oval shape. And then on one end, you're going to want to trim it to a little bit of a point. I don't do a great job here. I keep taking a little bit much. That's kind of hard to do on camera, but you get the point. You want a little bit of a point, not too much. You don't want to take too much length off this overall fly, but you want that nice kind of clean ass, hanging off the back. So once I'm done here cleaning, you can see it's roughly to a point, and then that's about where you want it, so the point to come right towards the back. And you can see I got a little bit of overhang on both sides. Now take your thread all the way to the back, and this is the tricky part. Give a big loose turn and then pull, but don't pull too hard. And what you want to do is go thread over thread over thread, so you get a nice segment. Then you come up about a 1/4 inch and you do the same thing. You could super glue at this point, but I find it just gets all over the place, so I typically don't super glue here. Take it up a couple wraps underneath too, and then you're going to do a third time. So you can see as you do this, the segmented body is already starting to show. Next, you're going to take about a clump of deer hair. This is probably about a pencil thick, and then give it a wrap, pull down, give it a couple more wraps, and you're going to see here I pull too hard. And what happens when you pull too hard, you break off. Don't worry about it. It's all stuck in there. Just start your thread again. Give it a couple pulls, and look at that. No big deal. Still works. So you can see how fluffy that wing is. That's going to aid in the flotation. It's going to make it look like a hopper wing. So I give it a couple extra wraps. Now that it's really well secured on top, we're going to get some foam. Make sure it's all straight. A couple more wraps, because, why not? This thing's going to float like a cork anyways, because it's all foam and deer hair. So we're going to add a leg on the back. And you can see I have a little bit of overhang. That's fine. Then I'm going to twist it and go ahead and add another one. These legs here I'm using are just silly legs, but the ones you want are the barred Montana sexy legs. I'll send you a link to where to buy those. Those are the ones that are actually on the Stinky Pinky. So trim off that excess, and then I take a strip of yellow foam, and you can see I go ahead and I cut that into a point, and it goes all just over the deer hair. Stroke everything back, couple turns, and there's your indicator post. And that's this piece of foam is only there to help you see it in the water. Now you're going to take some purple ice dub or any sort of purple dubbing, and this is a hands, and you're going to dub it around. I didn't quite put enough on there, so add a little more. It's a lot easier to add a bit more than it is to take away. Boom, there we go. Lift up, wrap up to just in front of the eye, and we're going to do our next step, which is we're going to wrap over all of them. This is the last body segment that we're going to actually create. So you can see how I'm just behind the eye. I want to leave a little bit of room behind the eye so I can whip finish under there. Now take your scissors in and kind of create another point with the foam. And if you're really pedantic, you could glue this down. I like it sticking up because, once again, it's only going to help you see the fly better in different lighting conditions. Now we're going to take rubber legs, come up and over, and that really kind of helps them set nicely once you get them on there. You can see how they splay And then I turn the vise over and I do the same thing. It's a really cool technique to make setting the legs really easy. Kind of come over and get them right where you want. Boom, there you go. And the Montana ones have the barring or the black stripes, which will help. You know, kind of gives it that sexy flavor. And then add a little bit more dubbing. I want a little bit lighter on this dubbing. You can probably go a little bit heavier because the original did have quite a bit of purple in it. Give it a look. Looking good. Now pull up and get just under that eye. And that's why we had to leave a little bit of space there. Now come in with a whip finish. Pull that head up and those legs out of the way. It's sometimes easier said than done. And give it a whip finish. Boom. Nicely done. Go ahead and snip it off. And now trim the legs to your liking. I trimmed it a little bit shorter than I probably should have. It still looks all right, but I probably could have left them longer. It's really up to you. You know, you had the original, just match the length of the originals. And then to make this fly a little bit more bulletproof, and this is when I add all the super glue. You can see I add it right in between the segments all the way to the back, and that will soak in and stop it from turning. There you go, the Stinky Pinky. Hope you enjoy.